Thank you very much. Okay, I'm here today to appeal to the public, well, more so the public down at Maroubra Beach, who were with Peter for the time that he was down there. And if anyone has any inkling of what could have happened, any noise that they've heard, any skirmish they may have seen around his car, anything at all, that to please come forward and to ring Crime Stoppers. It's very important that we try and find the person or persons that have done this. So he was a very good friend of mine. I've known Peter for 36 years. He was living with me for 12 months from January of 2016 up to January of 2017. He left my house because he felt that he was losing his independency. He came up to my wife one day and just gave her a kiss on the cheek and said goodbye and thank you very much for everything you've done for us, or for me, and just left. But he did keep coming back to my house every once or twice a month, and we'd have lunch or go to lunch. I tried to ask him how he was. He said he was fine. He didn't seem to me that there was anything wrong with him at all, so I left it at that. Last Saturday he was supposed to have come up, if he was still alive, he was supposed to come up for lunch, and I was going to ask him to come back because he wasn't young, and living in a car in this cold weather, I felt that he should have come back home, but circumstances, and he's not here now. So again, all I ask, if anyone knows anything or has seen anything or heard anything, please ring Crime Stoppers. It's most important.
There's a lot of people, aren't there, that cared a lot about Peter, and that's not necessarily what people may have thought to begin with when they heard a man who'd been living in his car at Midfield, but we learned subsequently that Peter had a lot of friends and family.
He did. He had the community at Port Botany Bus Depot. He was well loved through everyone. He made a lot of friends down at Maroubra Beach. People mainly with the surf lifesavers down there. They looked out for him. The ambulance officers at Mons Avenue, they looked out for him. The community in itself did everything they could for him because he was part of them now. So they looked after him, they fed him. He was very, very humble, and he didn't like all the help that people wanted to give him, but he took it. People asked, even if they wanted him to sleep in their garage with his car, just to get him out of the cold weather, but he always said, no, I'm fine. But yeah, so...
How emotional has this been for you and friends after finding out about this tragic incident?
Terrible. I mean, I cannot understand why someone would want to do this to a 68-year-old man. I mean, he was harmless. He was a friend to everyone. He made friends very easily, and I just can't understand why someone would want to do this to him at all.
What do you think of the person or people that would leave Peter in his car for dead? What kind of person would do that?
What can you say? I mean, the way he was killed is beyond my comprehension. I can't put a word to someone who would do this and just leave him there. I personally hope that it was quick. He wasn't in a lot of pain and left there just to die slowly. So it's really hard.
We know that police are continuing with their investigations, and we've heard today that they have found possibly a murder weapon and that they're doing a search at the rubbish tip. Does that give you a bit of hope?
It gives me a lot of hope.
Police are maybe edging closer?
Yes, it does. And hopefully it will be very quick, that they find this person or persons very quickly and bring them to justice for what they've done.
Do you think there might be some people out there who might be withholding some information? And if so, what do you say to them?
I asked them from the bottom of my heart, if you know anything, come forward. Please come forward. You won't be in any trouble for withholding it or thinking it's not anything relevant. But yes, please come forward and to let the police know what you know. Anything will help. So.
Thank you for speaking with us today.
No problem at all. Thank you. Yep. Yeah.
Is that better? Okay. Police are really reappealing for members of the community who may know something about the murder of Peter Hoffman to come forward. Police are particularly interested if any member of the community saw anything suspicious or out of place at Mons Avenue or at Coral Sea Park on the night of the murder, which was the 21st of June this year. As a result of information that has already been provided, police are now conducting a number of inquiries. At this point in time, we are conducting an extensive search for clothing at the Lucas Heights waste facility. We have also recovered the knife, which we believe may have been used in the murder of Peter Hoffman. We strongly believe that there are members of the community in Maroubra that may have information in relation to Peter's murder. We are urging those people to come forward and contact Crime Stoppers as soon as possible. Members of the community may also contact anonymously if they so desire. Any information that people have, we are urging you to come forward, and that piece of information could be the key to help us solve this terrible crime.
Superintendent, what can you tell us about the weapon that you found? What type of knife is it, and where and when was it found?
So what I can tell you is that the knife was located within the crime scene on the night of the murder. At that particular point in time, we were not in a position to release that information. However, our inquiries at this stage have allowed us now to release this piece of information to you.
What type of knife? Is it would you call it a kitchen knife or a hunting knife, large, small?
I'm not at this stage permitted to tell you any further details in relation to the knife.
And what has led you to the Lucas Heights tip for this clothing, and what sort of items of clothing, what are you hoping to find?
So we're actually looking for clothing that was potentially worn by people involved in the murder of Peter Hoffman. This piece of information has come to us by a member of the community who indicated that police may find items of interest at the Lucas Heights facility.
Was that information provided anonymously, or was it provided by a witness who might have seen something being put into the rubbish bin, or what have you been
It was provided by a witness. It was provided a week after the murder, and police have actually been conducting a search at Lucas Heights facility for the last 5 days.
And so far, has that, I mean, it's obviously a huge task, has that led to anything so far?
It is a huge task. However, police are dedicated to finding out who is responsible for this murder, and we are following any lines of inquiry. We will continue the search. We have found some items of clothing, and these are currently being forensically examined.
At this stage, do you believe that one person is behind this, or could be multiple people?
At this stage, we don't understand how many people are involved in this, but obviously this is a terrible crime, and if anybody has any information, we are asking them to come forward.
The job that the officers are doing out at the rubbish tip, it's a pretty grimy, horrible job to be doing. What's driving those officers?
What's driving those officers is the values of the New South Wales Police Force, our integrity, our commitment to keeping the community safe. It is a very large task, but obviously this is a very serious crime, and we are determined at Eastern Beaches Command to get to the bottom of it and do everything that it takes to actually find the evidence that we need to bring these offenders to justice.
Considering the leads, are you confident of being able to finish this job?
I'm very confident in my officers. We are exhaustively following every line of inquiry. We have a strike force formed, and we will continue until we are able to bring people to justice.
Superintendent, you said offenders. Do you believe that there's probably more than one person involved?
I don't know exactly how many people are involved. I think at this stage we actually have no motive for the murder of Peter Hoffman, and it is just not something that I can speculate on. All I can tell you is that we are reappealing for witnesses to come forward, that we have already been very successful with some of the information that has been provided, and as soon as we have more information to advise the community of, we will certainly do so. And I thank you very much for your time today.
Just one more question, if I may. In cases like this, often police can identify a motive and see it very early on, but in this case you say that there is no motive. Does that worry police that this may have just been a random attack on a stranger?
I think it's too early to speculate on that. What I